Today, I want to talk to board members. Are you leading a nonprofit board? Maybe you're an executive director and you're frustrated with your board. Well, today, I'm going to give you some help. Wake up, leaders. This is Glenn Guyton, your cultural futurist and keynote speaker, helping you to unlock the power of your people. It is time for our executive coffee break. I have my beverage in hand. I hope you have yours too. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your workplace culture and your beverage. My goal is to equip you with effective strategies to foster a culture of innovation, reduce workplace stress, and elevate team performance. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Well, today I want to talk about 12 things that could be frustrating you if you are an executive answering to a board, in particular nonprofit boards, or if you're a nonprofit board member and you feel like there's some clashing going on with you and the executive director. So 12 things. How can we run better organizations and have better board engagement with staff? That's the question that we want to answer today. Number one of the first things is a lack of engagement. If you are a board member, make sure you show up, that you're prepared for meetings, that you've read the docket, and you are ready to give it a go. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with a number of boards. I've been the executive director of an organization, answering to a board. I've been on multiple nonprofit boards, and lack of engagement is a big issue on boards. First of all, board members, you need to show up, be there, participate, be up to date, make sure you read your docket, make sure you're contributing. Board members need to show up and contribute ideas and take on responsibilities. You accepted this role. You said, I'm going to be a part of the leadership. Do it. The staff is busy. The board has a role. If everyone does what they're supposed to do, organizations will be much more effective. The executive director will be less stressed, and the time and the energy that staff members put into board members and board meetings will be well received. So make sure that you are prepared, that you are present for your board meetings. Number two, this is always a biggie, especially for nonprofit boards. Fundraising. You say, hey, I'm a board member. I'm here for governance. I'm not here for fundraising. No, you're there for fundraising. Board members need to be willing to leverage their networks and to contribute personally to fundraising efforts. Funding is always a big challenge for nonprofit boards, and board members, the staff can't do it without you. You are part of the leadership. So it's important that 100% of board members participate in some form or fashion in the fundraising efforts. Ideally, all board members should be contributing financially, but if not, you should be tapping donors. You should be giving your executive, your development department names of people to contact, and you should actually be making warm introductions in order to help the fundraising goals. Number three, and I'm not sure how you pick your board members, but skills. A skills gap is one of the areas that can be problematic on nonprofit boards. Board members may lack the necessary skills or knowledge in financing, fundraising, governance, or other issues related to the nonprofit's mission. So make sure when you are selecting board members, when you're filling vacancies, that you get the right people, not just your buddies, but your buddies that have the right skills. Now, number four is a big deal. I'm not sure what governance model that you use. Many boards use policy governance, where your most important responsibility is picking the executive director or the CEO of your organization. Board members, you aren't staff. You don't need to interfere in the day-to-day operations of the institution. If you're doing the day-to-day work, you need to fire your CEO. That's all it comes down to. Now, there are some times where you have to get your hands dirty. You have to serve on special commissions. The executive may ask you to pick up some pieces here and there, but a rule of thumb is that board members shouldn't be interfering in the day-to-day operations. Instead, you should be focused on governance and strategy and holding the executive and staff accountable for the plans that have come up or the matrix that you've set. Number 5, I think it kind of goes with the micromanagement piece. Sometimes boards lose focus on the nonprofit's core mission and get distracted by peripheral issues. It's easy to do that because people want to call the board members. Your buddies want to call you and complain about things that are going on, but that's not your job. Focus on the core mission, the core values, and if that is no longer relevant, then you come up with new core values and a new mission. One of the major pieces that boards need to focus on is the long-term strategy, right? Long-term sustainability. Let the staff worry about the day-to-day, the short-term solutions. You need to be thinking about the future, all right? Future focus, future focus. Say that 3 times really fast. Future focus, future focus, future focus. Number 6, poor communication. This is a big deal, especially if you are on a board that may manage other commissions or manage other boards. Make sure that you have good communication about what's going on. Make sure you've prepared. Make sure you know the history of the organization. Make sure you know the bylaws of the organization. Make sure you have good meetings and are communicating well with other board members and with your constituency. Communication is really important in the board and staff relationship. Make sure that you have good communication with all of the staff. Your primary contact probably is going to be the executive director, but make sure from time to time the board connects with other staff members. You can send staff a thank you card, something to let you know that you're paying attention to their work. Number 7, power dynamics and conflicts can be issues in good board staff relationships. You know, a few vocal members may dominate discussions, which silence others. There can be factions within the board that can create divisiveness and undermine unity. Long-serving members may resist new ideas and approaches, especially from younger and more diverse recruits. So make sure you pay attention to power dynamics in the board meetings. Are we being equitable as we share? Are we giving other people space to interact and share ideas? Pay attention to the power dynamics on the board. And do you have someone that's maybe being abusive on the board? I've worked with some board members that have been somewhat abusive. They control everything. They control other board members, and they try to leverage the relationships for their benefit, but not the benefits of the entire organization. Number 8, limited accountability. Sometimes board members just don't do what they say they're going to do. So who are they accountable to? Board members need to be held accountable. You need to have metrics that not only measures the executives and staff's performance, but board members may need to measure their own performance. And make sure you have a process for reviewing the performance of other board members. What are the expectations? Make sure that you have properly trained the board chair and that they have the power and authority needed to hold other board members accountable. Many times we just focus on the staff and what the staff isn't doing. Oh, the executive isn't doing X, Y, and Z. Board members need accountability too, right? They are supervising and governing the work of the organization. They need to be held accountable too. So figure out what those standards are. Make sure you have good board policies and that people are familiar with the things that they should be doing as board members. Number 9, diversity and inclusion issues can be problematic for boards. Boards that lack diversity in race, gender, age, or perspective struggle to represent the communities they serve. And I listed a number of things. I know sometimes when we think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're thinking about just race, but we need to pay attention to race, gender, geographical location, age, different perspectives, depending on the constituency that you serve. So be mindful that monocultural boards or mono-thinking boards will not perform as well as boards with diverse experiences, diverse viewpoints. We have to remember that board members not only need to understand themselves, but they have to have a broad understanding so that they can understand the constituency that they serve. So make sure you have the right representatives on the board to give you the right perspectives. Number 10, unrealistic expectations of staff, or maybe over-dependence on staff. Boards may expect staff to do all the work without their involvement or without their support. They want staff to perform miracles, and staff can't perform miracles. And so understand the challenges that your staff members are facing. What are the pressures that your executive may be facing that you can help with? That not getting into the day-to-day, but there may be some policy shifts that need to be made, some strategy shifts that need to be made, some long-term changes of expectations that you may have to wrestle with as a board. So managing expectations of staff is really, 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 really important board work. Number 11, we touched on fundraising, but financial oversight. Some boards fail to provide effective oversight or to understand financial reports. Make sure you have the right people on the board that can read financial documents, and make sure you're asking the right questions of your executive and CFO. What information do you need? Are they giving you the right reports? You can ask for what you need as a board. You can, because financial oversight is very important. And if you're working under policy governance where you have executive director limitations, make sure you clearly outline the financial limitations so that you're not caught off guard. You are getting the reports that you need, and you're also auditing the financial information. And number 12, in closing, is just a lack of vision. Boards need to have vision. Boards that lack a clear vision for the organization's future, really, it frustrates leaders trying to implement bold initiatives. Hopefully you have a visionary leader, and boards need to provide some stability, but also support the future. Be future focused as a board. You want to preserve the integrity of the institution, preserve the mission, but always be looking at what's next as a board. Work with your staff to make sure that we are implementing bold initiatives, that we are being proactive and not just putting out fires. We need to have some type of future-focused strategic planning. I do know a number of boards that just get locked into preserving what was, and that is to the detriment of the organization. Think about the future. What's the future of our organization, and how can we better accomplish our mission given the current and future threats that we face? All right, that's it. 12 things. Pay attention to it. Share with your board members. But let's not forget that better leaders get better results. So to all of those that are leading the charge for a more positive and engaging workplace, I leave you with this. Stay bold, stay inspired, and remember that your actions today shape the culture of tomorrow. My name is Glenn Guyton. You all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.